Welcome to our next segment of Around Town. And we got a special treat for you today. We're here at Brookside Lumber. Brookside Lumber is one of the oldest, if not the oldest establishment in Bethel Park. They've been here forever. Everyone drives by them. They're here on Logan Road. If you've never stopped, you're in for a real treat. So sit back, relax, and watch Around Town, and we're at Brookside Lumber. Dave Jones, what's your role here at the company, and when did you first start? So how many years do you have here at Brookside?
I'll back into what my role is from when I started. I started in 1976.
Okay.
And again, a lot of the growth and activity I enjoyed. We probably were around 25 people, I want to say, at that time, and we've gotten closer to 100 along the way, or just a little less at some point.
So you're a major employer of Bethel Park.
We would like to think so, but
Yep.
that's all about, again, how do you help and support people and help them grow.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked through from the receiving room, stock, sales, purchasing, some management roles. Currently, I'm, from a title perspective, serving as president on the board. The activity, the roles, what I do on a daily basis varies significantly depending on what's going on at any point in time.
Walk us through the ownership of Brookside Lumber. When it started, you're 80-some years into this. What can you tell us about the Edwards family?
Sure. Well, the first thing I can tell you is they're wonderful people to work for. I've been here over 30 years and couldn't ask for better people to, I don't even think of as employed by, but as part of their family.
Right.
Business was started by Pete Edwards Sr. The company is named Brookside for the Brookside Farms development in Bethel Park and Upper St. Clair, right down the road from us. Pete Edwards Sr. was a builder. So he was looking for a way, because he was so active in 1926 and in the late 20s, yeah, even in the Depression, looking for a better way to source materials. So he bought property along a rail siding, had material shipped in, started setting up for his own needs. Not too long afterwards, there were other builders in the area asking if they could buy some of his materials. So that was sort of the foundation that started it. So Pete Sr. started the business, actively involved for many, many years, and had two sons, Frank and Pete Edwards, Pete Jr., both served in the war in World War II, and then after that got involved with the business. Pete, at I believe 91 years old now, Pete Jr., is still involved with the business. He's the chairman of the board. He also still buys a lot of the lumber products for us. Frank passed away in 2000. Pete had several children, one of which is involved in the business. That's his son, Mark. Frank had three children, all of which are involved in the business, which is Bruce, Gordon, and Leslie. Bruce is the secretary, assistant secretary actually, on the board. Leslie is the secretary. Gordon is the treasurer, but they all are active in different parts of the business every day. Bruce is involved in buying product, management, direction of the company. Gordon handles some of the accounting work and the equipment and fun things like buying trucks and forklifts. Leslie works helping in our installation division and also very much focused on customer service. So we have third generation family members here that show up and sit down next to other people every day and go to work. So again, that's kind of the background, and it just makes it such a great environment to work in.
Being the boss's son was a privilege. They would take me to the candy area. They did this with all the kids that came in here.
Okay.
Any child, and we like to see the new babies and the families coming in, and they take us back and give us, ask us what we wanted. It wasn't a very big candy store. It didn't matter, it was free. So that's what I remember coming in. So I wanted to come back.
Okay.
And I liked the physical part of the work initially, as young people do, and gradually I didn't like it as much as I grew older. But over the years, the thing that we're probably most proud of is to support families that work here.
Okay. Leslie, when did you start?
I started part-time in 76,
Okay.
and then
you were
full-time in 77.
okay, and you were in high school when you started, or okay. Well, what was your first job here?
Answering phones.
Okay, and you did a very good job of it, right? So they kept you.
Yep.
Okay. Did you have to go to the candy section too?
I remember candy and hot chocolate and, yeah, vague memories.
Okay, Dave, do you remember this candy thing? I've
Oh,
never
yeah.
seen the candy
We
here.
still have it.
It still exists. It's a little
If you're
box
good,
on a
we'll show you
shelf.
later.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. We'll treat you to a candy bar when we're done
Nice.
here.
I like that. That's wonderful. When did Brookside Lumber actually start?
It was incorporated in 1926 by our grandfather, P.S. Edwards,
Okay.
Peter Sudden.
Peter Seddon Edwards.
Okay. And he picked Bethel Park to start the lumberyard business. Do you know what actually prompted him to start a lumber business?
He had a home building business,
Okay.
and we had the railroad tracks on the property for the coal. So they would come through and pull coal right behind us here. So he started buying lumber for not only his business, but for friends that were also in the building business. So they all kind of got together and decided what they were going to pay, and got the railroad car in, stacked the lumber, and split the lumber up. And then after that, about in the 30s, I'm not sure exactly, 1930s, they built a small sales building here attached to this two-story brick building. There was about 200 square feet of sales area for builder's hardware. And I remember as a kid, being about 8 or 9 years old, walking through the rat maze of builder's hardware. It was a pretty small showroom, and there was a sales counter, and it was down there for quite some time. We still have the cash register as a memento. Yeah, my uncle and my father were both involved
Okay.
with the purchasing of the lumber, the managing of the lumber yard.
And what was your dad and uncle's names?
My father is Frank Edwards, and my uncle is Peter Edwards.
Okay. And are either of them still with us, or?
Yeah, we've got a 93-year-old downstairs that's still coming in.
He still comes into
Yeah,
work.
that's my uncle.
Dad went to business building houses with his father,
Okay.
mostly in Brookside Farms.
That's where the Brookside name came from.
Came from with it.
From Brookside Farms.
So as we progressed years, then when did your grandfather leave the business, and your dad and uncle were running the business then full time? What kind of years? When do you think that was?
I'd say that was in the 50s. Frank Edwards actually built. He was doing some commercial building also.
Okay.
Did a building, the Anderson Equipment Building in Bridgeville, some gas stations, some banks.
What's the water
Allied
place?
Allied Security.
It's Allied Security.
He did the Allied Security building, and then the building business was tough, but the building business went away for us as the Edwardses, P.S. Edwards Company, and the building, the civil engineering, and the building that my dad did went away, and the lumber company survived. Well, the big boom era was the end of the 60s, beginning of the 70s.
Okay.
That's when the showroom was put up, was a
The current showroom you have now?
current showroom we have now. Yeah,
Okay.
and it had a drive-through in the back, so the cars could drive through and we would load them. And we had a showroom for all the incidentals, all the hardware and products that you could pick up in a normal showroom. And in about that same time, we added a large warehouse that we call number 9. We number our buildings, so
Okay.
so number 9 gets used a lot.
Okay, here we are at the heart of Brookside Lumber. Brookside Lumber is building materials, lumber, everything you can think of. And we're going to take some time and walk around the warehouses, show the stacks of product, material, the operation, the unloading of trucks, the loading of trucks, this is what makes Brookside Lumber the business that it is today. So let's enjoy some of the scenery and some of the products, some of the customers, some of the employees, and let's see what makes this place tick.
My name's Rich Mazzetti. I supervise the number 9 warehouse. It's kind of the main warehouse where you'll get most of your dimensional lumber, doors, insulation, drywall, cement. But when a customer comes out, you can pretty much find yourself anywhere on the facility.
Okay, so walk us through the operation. We've seen a lot of cars and trucks, homeowners, contractors pulling up. What do they do? I see them pull up, and walk us through the process.
Customers, whether residential or commercial, will go into the showroom, order their material from a salesperson, and they'll get a copy of their receipt, and they'll bring a receipt that remains with us. And from that receipt, we load them. So they will drive out to number 9 first, no matter where we need to load them, what building.
Okay. And then when they get out to number 9, what happens? You send a staff member out?
We always, the way it works is we try to have a few yard people out on the perimeter stocking at any given time, and we try to maintain at least 2 or 3 up front to handle the line. There are times where you have to pull everybody back in. There could be 7, 8 people on the line at one time.
Okay. So then you just wave the car up to the door. They, you look at the receipt, and from there you tell them where to go?
Yes.
Okay, and from there the employees pull the lumber and help the customers load their vehicles, their cars, or whatever the case may be with it?
That's correct.
Okay, big order, small order, it doesn't matter. They're all treated the same?
Yes. And
are there certain days that are contractor heavy and certain days that are homeowner heavy?
yeah, typically you're contractor heavy Monday through Friday, and then Saturday you'll have a rush of contractors in the morning, late afternoon, and in between you'll have more residential.
What's your number one selling piece of wood?
2x4/8.
2x4x8? Okay. How about, is there a seasonal product? Do you have peak season on certain things?
Well, definitely. Right now, we had a gentleman start in October, and it was all a new learning experience come April because of womanized and the several different composite deckings that we sell.
Okay.
So it was like learning all over to him, even though he had been here for 6 months.
How many trucks a week, or are there heaviest days that you get deliveries to the mill?
Well, yeah, it's scattershot, but typically Wednesday and Friday, as far as tractor trailers, they're the two heaviest days.
Okay. On we just noticed the last customer, you were special cutting some 4x8 sheets of particle board for them. Is this something you typically do every day?
Oh yeah, definitely. And
it's just a customer service you provide?
Yeah, and there's actually customers that will call ahead for some pretty big mill orders. Some of them can take up to 2-3 hours with a couple guys working on them. So,
okay. So
yeah.
That way, a homeowner that doesn't have the big table saws and everything, if they tell you what they want them cut at, you'll have everything pre-cut for them to just pick up and move on.
That's correct.
Very nice. Thank you. Rich, we're, I guess, receiving some doors or something here. How about telling us what it is that we're seeing?
You have Linda, who does the receiving with the paperwork, and with several different orders of doors on the truck. Brian and Sean are unloading the truck. And what they will do is they'll be reading the tags and checking with Linda. She checks them off and separating the orders and marking the locations. So when we do get our slip, when a customer comes out, we will know where they're at.
Now, are these doors already pre-sold? These are doors that have been ordered and are coming in for customers, and the customers are going to, you call the customer, tell them it's in, or are these just stock doors that are for anyone to get?
No, these aren't the stock doors. These are all pre-ordered. They're special order door. Once these are checked in, I do know she will be notifying the salespeople, and the proper phone calls will be made for them. They'll know right away.
Rich, we're looking at some doors. You were telling me that Brookside Lumber actually has their own place to make these doors?
Yeah, we have a door shop in Bentleyville, PA, that puts together all the stock doors. What we just witnessed a couple minutes ago, Schuster's, those are all special order doors.
Okay, how about trusses? You guys have your own manufacturing complex for trusses too?
Yes, over in Ohio.
In Ohio, so customer ordering trusses from Brookside Lumber. Brookside Lumber actually is making those trusses and shipping them here or to the job site, same as these stores here.
That is correct.
And Brookside actually has another yard. They have Star Lumber?
Yes, one store in Evans City, PA, and one store in Glade Mills, PA.
Rich, what's going on behind us here? This is one of your own vehicles?
Yes, it is. From start to finish, dispatch would have gotten a order for a load builder to put together a couple days ago, and the load has obviously been built. The driver's now gotten the load from dispatch. He has come back and loaded on the truck himself. He's going to strap it down and take it to its destination.
Okay, so this is an order going right to a construction site, a job site then?
Yes.
Okay, do you deliver orders directly to homeowners also?
Yes.
So whatever the order, if it needs delivered, it can handle. How many vehicles does Brookside have, do you think?
Oh, quite a few. There's 3 or 4 pickups, 6 or 7 box trucks, 2 flatbeds that are non-CDL, and then probably 6 CDL trucks,
Okay,
somewhere
so-
in that area.
So any order, big or small, Brookside Lumber can handle it?
Yes.
Perfect.
Well, that was one of the first drive-through warehouses in the area
Yeah,
that Frank come up with.
yeah. It really hasn't changed that much. We still write up the customers in the showroom and send them out to our big warehouse. We tried to put everything in the one warehouse. Didn't fit. That's why we have all the other buildings. Typically, we keep buying new products and keep the old ones. And we continually try to put things under roof so they're protected. So that was the big boom era. Of course, we went through some of the more trying times, like around 1979, 1980, where the interest rates went up through the roof. They were in the 16 to 20% range. That year, I think we lost about 3/4 of our building business, just because it didn't make sense to build a house and pay that kind of interest rate. So we've weathered through some of the tough times. We were fortunate enough to buy another lumber yard.
Oh, and when was that?
That was 1998.
Okay, and where's that lumber yard?
There's 2 lumber yards up in the North Hills, one on Route 8, and one at
Zelienople,
Zelienople. It's Evans City,
Evans City.
and the other one's in Glade Mills or Valencia.
Okay.
And they're about the same size, did the same thing. So Bruce, that's where Bruce spends a lot of his time. He comes and visits us here, but I would say he's probably one of the driving forces. He's the one that's always thinking about where we're going, what we're going to do, along with Dave.
Okay.
So you need people to think about the future and where we're going, what we're going to do. One of our more fun times was the 1976 party, our 50-year party, where we had it in the showroom. We moved everything out. We had it catered. We sent out an invitation saying there was no selling allowed during the party.
Just mill around.
So to let all the salespeople know that it was just a fun time, and it was invited as many people as we had customers, and it was a great time. So we get to know our customers. They become a little bit more like family over the years.
My work over the past decade with college graduates exposed 2 troubling patterns. First of all, too many of the applicants that were seeking a degree were simply unprepared. And secondly, too many of the college graduates, once they finished, simply lacked the skill set that employers were looking for. In addition, many of the college graduates now are just drowning in unprecedented levels of school debt. The school debt has reached the $1 trillion mark, which is now second only to home mortgage debt. This perfect storm, if you will, of rising school debt and the skill disconnect between graduates and employers was the motivation for my book, Joe Barista, PhD, which highlights the state of American education in the 21st century. It chronicles the educational struggle and journey of a young man who grew up deep in the heart of the Appalachian Mountains, only to find himself an overeducated, experience-deficient graduate who was saddled with a mountain of school debt and no viable job prospects. I also realized through this time working with college graduates that many of these issues could be avoided if we could simply start the career development conversation at the secondary school level. This led to the creation of the TV program, Your Future, Your Choice. You know, there's an old adage, think global and act local. Well, local for me is BPTV. The process was surprisingly simple. I came in and pitched my idea to BPTV, and once accepted, we were off to the races. David Cable and his staff are professional, accommodating, and creative. I literally tell them what I want, and they make it happen. I'm Emmanuel Romanis, Principal Consultant at Forward 21 Career Consulting, and the creator and host of Your Future, Your Choice on BPTV.
Kitchens, baths are a significant category for us. And again, as Gordon mentioned, we have specialists in those departments, people that's all they do because of the level of complexity and the detail that's involved in a project like that. So those are some of the major areas. We do try to offer some installation services with some of those things where it makes sense for the customers and who's requesting it. That's a variety of what we do, but I think the secret weapon through all of that is the people.
Okay.
We can have a great variety of products. We can have great inventory position, good pricing. All those things are important. But without the right people, none of that matters. And we have a lot of long-term people. If you've got 20 years of tenure, we probably don't consider you a rookie anymore. But we've got a lot of people 20 plus. And we sell to builders, mostly residential, doing new construction, and a lot of remodelers. In this area, there are a lot of older homes, Bethel Park, and in the surrounding communities that are in need of updating, and people continue to, improve and contribute to the community that way.
We sell kitchens, we of course sell lumber, we sell doors and windows, and we have specialty people in most of those areas. So they've been there for a while. So we find that we do a lot of special ordering for people. We get a lot of people that come in that have been told no at other places, that they can't get it, and we can typically get it.
All right, Dave, we're overlooking the store, the showroom. What can you tell us about it, the departments, and how has it evolved over the years?
Well, Brookside being here since 1926, there's obviously been a lot of changes. The building we're in was built in the early 1960s. Prior to that, in terms of any sort of a showroom, it was literally a house across the road that held the office and a little bit of display space, some shelves, a few things on it. So there wasn't much in terms of a showroom. This was what was, when it was created, called a cash and carry. That was the business model at the time, where it was, come on in, we've got the products, take it with you, the whole thing. And basically, this building stopped about right where we're standing. So what we're in was an addition at one point. And originally the front half of the building was the store, and the back half was what we called a drive-through. So the customer would come in with their vehicle, drive through, get loaded up, take their lumber, their plywood, whatever. So as the business grew, this back half of the building was added. It became the drive-through, and the store expanded to twice its size. Well, in the late 1970s, we added a very large warehouse and eliminated this as part of a drive-through, and it became store space. We're standing in an area now that's our window and door department, millwork as we call it, and right below us on a lower level that was part of the drive-through is our kitchen and bath department. So it's grown and evolved a good bit over the years. The total showroom space now is about 10,000 square feet.
And that house you started in was what, 1,000 square feet?
Yeah, probably close to it. Now, I wasn't here at that time.
It's okay. So it's a nice store.
Thank
Looking
you.
forward to seeing the rest of it.
Thank you.
Dan, what's your title or what do you do here for Brookside Lumber?
I'm the store manager.
Okay. And what's that entail?
It's quite a few different things. I help counter people with sales. I'm involved in sales. Answer lots of questions for customers calling in.
Okay. Well, one of the departments we're standing in front of right now is molding, and I understand that you know everything there is to know about molding. So what can you tell us about the molding department at Brookside Lumber? How important of a department is that for you?
Our moldings have always been a very strong source of Brookside's custom lines, stock molding lines. We do a lot of different products that our contractors and homeowners both use a lot of our moldings. We do have a mill shop that behind me here shows some of the moldings that we can actually custom make for people. I've done molding seminars for Brookside in the past to show customers how to actually install moldings, how to cut them, coat the crown molds. So yeah, our molding department we do very, very well with.
Okay, so it's a core department. If you had to guess, how many different moldings do you actually stock here at Brookside?
Well, we probably stock about 100 different moldings, and we have sources to get another 100 or so, I would say.
Okay, and if out of that 100 moldings, if you don't see what you have, you're saying just ask and you'll custom make any molding you want?
Yeah, we can make a certain amount, and then we do have a lot of sources to order in custom moldings too.
Okay, do they come pre-finished, pre-treated, or is it plain molding and then the customer picks the colors and finish they want?
The customers do their own finishing. We really don't do pre-finished moldings through Brookside.
Okay. Dave, we're in a part of your store now. Tell us where we are and what this department is all about.
Well, this is the area where we do a lot of decking sales. Decking is just, for everybody in general, and us in particular, just a big, big category anymore. But it's evolved and changed a lot over the last couple of decades. For years, it was all wood, treated wood, which was fine, but it required a lot of maintenance. So what's changed is non-wood products, what we call composites, some PVC plastic products that require little to no maintenance, hold their color, much more durable, don't absorb stains like grease from your grill or a spilled glass of wine and things like that. And this is something that early on when it came along, we adopted it and kind of grew with it, and it's become just a major category for us. We've got all kinds of samples here, every shape, color, style that you could probably want.
Is there one brand of the decking that's best? If a customer came in and said, I wanted the absolute best deck money couldn't buy, is there one brand you're using or one type of decking that's better than the rest for you?
I really think best is a matter of fitting the right product for the situation and their budget, which is what we do with everything. So we carry in stock, in most cases, at least 3 different brands and multiple colors and styles in each of those. So we try to look at their budget, their needs, and fit that with them. And part of the service, so we don't charge for this, is we do a complete structurally sound design that they can take to the building inspector and get their permit. So it gives them a guide to build their deck from, it gives them a visual of what the deck will work, how it'll look when it's all done, and gives them something that they can go and get their permits with.
Okay, so once again, you have some deck specialists that work for you. A customer can come in, talk to your specialists about what their needs are, what their budgets are, and then you fill the order from there.
That's absolutely right.
Perfect. And Brian, what's your title here at Brookside Lumber?
I'm in charge of the millwork department.
Okay, and millwork department means what?
We sell windows, doors, stair parts, anything that has to do with windows and doors.
Okay. With windows and doors, we see all these gorgeous doors and windows all around us as we're talking. What can you tell us about your window and door department in general?
Well, we offer some good product in the Marvin and Anderson lines. We offer some fiberglass doors from Therma-Tru departments. We also have very nice exterior wood doors here.
Okay. If a customer comes in or is interested in buying a door from Brookside Lumber, can you walk us through the process? How do we start? What can they expect if they walk through the door here at Brookside?
Well, we usually like to find out what the project's about. Are you interested in new construction? Are you doing a remodeling project? How old's your home? We ask those kind of questions. Are you looking for a front door? Are you looking for a back door? Are they windows for the home? Is it interior doors that you're looking for? Do you have a contractor that you're working with? And we start to get into, depending on if it's a window or if it's a door, are you looking for a maintenance-free product? Are you looking for something you can stain, something you can paint? There's a tremendous amount of questions to ask.
Okay. So it starts, though, with the questions. They could come in not knowing anything, and you're the experts. You're going to sit them down, and you're going to walk them through it from beginning to end.
That's correct.
Okay, and you work with them with their budgets, and you also say you work with their contractors, or you can provide people for them to do the work?
We could, but we also offer an installation program as well. So if they don't have a contractor, then we would do that for them.
Okay. Installation, so you would come to the house and take care of everything from beginning to end?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right, Dave, we're moving into roofing area. What can you tell us about the roofing products you carry?
Well, roofing and siding in this area, and roofing, we still carry a pretty broad array of products, but like a lot of categories, there are so many things available. We keep kind of the meat and potatoes in stock, and then if it's something beyond that in terms of style or color, we'll special order it in. We handle well-known manufacturers like Owens Corning, Certainty, people like that. You can get a product that is warranted as short as 20 years all the way up to 50 years. So depending on how long you want to be in your house and what you want to spend on your roof, there's a lot of options. Same thing with the siding, and siding's evolved over the years, much like other products, into more evolved technical products. Used to be years ago it's wood siding, then there was steel siding, aluminum, vinyl. Now we're into cement sidings and other products that just have entirely different properties and lifespans and looks. So again, in those we do a variety of products in inventory, but we also special order a lot of it. Even the cement sidings can be pre-painted in various colors. So there are a lot of options available in both those categories.
So once again, a customer comes in with what their needs are, and your staff will walk them through the process of what are their best options, what are their budgets, and how much of a product they need.
Yeah, very much a consultative process. What do you need? What are you interested in? What do you want to spend? And then that way there are so many options. We try to pinpoint, here's what the right things are to look at for you.
And as always, you put a package together, and then you could drop it off right at their house or right at the job sites.
No, absolutely. Anything we do can be delivered.
I am the assistant in the kitchen and bath department here at Brookside.
Okay, and what does that mean? What is a kitchen and bath department?
I greet all the customers, answer questions they may have, direct them to an available salesperson if they're looking to set up an appointment. I also assist with paperwork, selling vanities, kind of whatever the staff needs.
Okay, well, what does the department actually sell here?
We sell full kitchen and bath services, anything from products to even the installation services. We offer 5 different kitchen lines. We have a full custom bath line as well. So we have products for every budget, to fit every budget.
Okay, if someone comes in and wants to build a brand new kitchen, you're going to have everything from the flooring to the cabinets to the countertops to the sinks to the faucets?
Absolutely. Just about the only thing we don't provide here are appliances. But everything else, kitchen, countertops, hardware, plumbing, install, our install department handles tear out and install. We also work with closely with our contractors that buy here too. So the process is very one-on-one. We request that you do make an appointment so the designer has adequate time to get the ball rolling for the whole kitchen process. And we do all the layout and designs on the computer and pricing, and it's a really intense, nice one-on-one relationship between the client and their designer.
It sounds like a wonderful service. What can you, for a customer, what can they expect from when they first call or walk in the door to sitting down with one of your sales associates to ordering product to get it in? Are we talking days, weeks, months? What's a general timeline for a customer to expect?
Honestly, it's really up to them. When they first come in, I can take them around, or anyone else, and kind of educate them on the different lines and get a feel for mainly what their budget is, what their style is, because the different lines we offer kind of fit different niches like that. And then the first step is really setting up that appointment with the designer. From there, the layout process could be as simple or as detailed as the client wants. It's just getting that dream kitchen that they have in their mind and getting it on paper, getting the figures to work. We've had people close up an order within a month. We have other people that have taken, a couple months. It's a very large purchase. It's an emotional purchase. So you want to take the time and make it right.
You sound like you have the passion and you like what you do.
I do. I love just, a lot of people come in and they've been saving their whole lives for their kitchen. So we try to give them everything possible, within their budget and within the time frame that they need it. So it's rewarding.
Okay. Kitchens, bathrooms, they're all one-on-one, or do you have different sales associates that take care of each side of this floor?
No, we all handle everything. We have a great bath line. Our bath line is nothing but bath. We sell a ton of vanities here at Brookside. We have found that some clients come in and have been to other establishments and may only sell kitchens and not sell them one vanity. We will sell one vanity or one piece of hardware, whatever the customer needs.
On the bathroom side, do you also do bathtubs, sinks, toilets, all the porcelain side of it?
We absolutely do. We have a plumbing distributor we work very closely with, and they have over 150 different manufacturers at their fingertips. So we have a lot of products that we can offer.
The faucets too?
Absolutely. Bath and kitchen.
All right. Anything I'm missing in this department you want to brag about?
No, I just feel that our staff, they offer just really a one-on-one emotional experience with that customer. They really get to know their customer, and some of them have developed relationships that have lasted, a long time, and I just think that's really important.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
With the kitchens, I don't know how many price points there are, but we've got probably, I think we have 5 different lines, and within those lines you've got 3 prices per line. So we're very competitive. We know people are shopping, but we like to provide value for their dollar.
All right, Dave, the rest of the store, what can you tell us? What are some of the other core areas for us? Walk us around the rest of the store for it.
Well, obviously it's Brookside Lumber. So what do? We do lumber, but you need a lot of other things to make that work. So, we work our way through here. We carry a line of tools, both hand tools, power tools, hair nailers, things of that sort. Work on through. We've got paint products, stains, clear coatings, deck stain for all the decks that we sell where people are still using wood. Some basic plumbing and electrical products. Of course, there are some other options in the area for folks to go to for those, but we like to at least have the basics for them. Work our way on up. We've got storage, shelving, hardwood flooring. There's a variety of products that we show in here. So even down to the basic building hardware, like I need a hinge. So we try to have the things in place as much as possible to help somebody complete a project that they would be doing with us.
Yeah, so at the store here, you have everything from the nuts and bolts to the lumber, to the caulking, to the tools. You can walk a customer through a complete project. So you want our customers to come in, with an idea, and you're going to walk them through from beginning to end everything they would need for that project itself.
That's our objective.
Yeah, it's a complete source. That's why we love Brookside Lumber.
Thank you, Andy.
I always loved movies, and back in my days at Duquesne University, the editor of the paper at that time recommended that I go ahead and do film reviews for the newspaper, and that's really how this whole thing started. That was all the way back in oh Lord, 1973, I believe it was. I noticed that my perspective on films, and so did he, noticed that my perspective on films was very different. It was probably about 12 years ago that I was contacted by Joey Berlin from Hollywood, and he asked me to be a part of the Broadcast Film Critics Association, a new organization that they were heading up there on the West Coast, and I readily agreed. And of course, they produce every year the Critics' Choice Award. Over the years, I took my movie reviews to various newspaper concerns and even radio, and a lot of times the items that I would say about a movie ran into conflict with maybe some of the advertisers or some of the people getting a little upset and not liking what I said. So as a result, there was some censorship going on my reviews, and I became a little bit frustrated with that. So I opened my eyes and I started looking for a venue which would allow me to do my movie reviews without having to worry about being censored from somebody up above. And that brought me through the doors here at BPTV. Because of the really fine experiences I've had here at BPTV in producing outtakes, I decided to spread my wings a little bit and delve into some of my other interests. I've always been a very huge hockey fan, so I started doing play-by-play hockey announcing for some of the local teams, especially the Bethel Park Blackhawks here on BPTV, and had a great time doing that. Must have done that for about 10 or 12 years as well. And I also started a hockey talk show called In the Crease, which I'm happy to say was the first all-sports talk show devoted completely to hockey here in the tri-state area. I also have pretty good skills at interviewing, and because of that, I began a show called Coffee and Chaos, which tries to find rather unique individuals in the community and at large and do an in-depth interview with them as well. I've had a great time here at BPTV. There have been a plethora of people that have come through the door, interns and people who just volunteer here, and every one of them has a passion for TV, and I enjoy seeing that passion. So if you have an idea, a creative aspect, or an opinion that is unique to you, and you're looking for a place to express it, there's no better place than Public Access TV, BPTV. I found a home here. Probably you can too. I'm Fiore Mastracci, host and producer of Outtakes, and a list of other shows too.
We actually do some custom millwork here. We have a facility where we can have somebody come in from something as simple as I need a rocking chair leg made for the bottom of my rocking chair to I need bookcases or a mantle or even more complex. So that's something that we do that we think is relatively unique.
I've been here for almost 29 years, and Wayne's been here for almost 40 years. He started in the early 70s.
What can you tell us about the mill? What do you do here?
We'll do anything from simple planing of the boards for a customer up to building windows, custom moldings, layout of blueprints for custom cabinetry for a customer or a contractor. As you can see, we're making a AZAC archway for a contractor. It had to be to special sizes and specifications, and we'll make moldings for it and apply it. We'll surface sand boards. We'll glue up boards for bar tops, countertops, all the way down to gluing up an antique rocking chair for a person that wants it for a keepsake. I mean, we've done some really off-the-wall jobs. It's a nice little service for people to get things done. We'll custom cut knives if you want a special molding made for your house, and try to replicate baseboard and casing for antique houses. And they can't get it anywhere, and we'll try to replicate that either right on or as close as we can get it.
What are some of the machines that you use here, and what do those machines do?
Well, we have a 24-inch planer, and that's what we run our material down to the desired thickness that we want. It'll go down to 7 inches all the way up to a 1/16. Drill presses, we have a 12-inch joiner. We have various radial arm saws that we use for cross cutting. We have a molder machine. This is what I use specifically for making all our custom knives and running baseboard and different various of cuts for people. We have a 37-inch wide belt sander that we will surface sand glued up material to get it down to the desired thickness. We have our 12-inch table saws and a 24-inch band saw and various router tables that we set in a lot of router bits to make the custom moldings and millwork that we have to do for the people.
The machines that you demonstrated here today, what was the first one you demonstrated? Table saw?
Yes, that was our table saw, and I was ripping strips for a customer that needed them to pad a wall out. Something, you know, he couldn't get it anywhere else. He couldn't buy it that thickness. So I just ripped them those few strips. The bandsaw was a set of brackets that someone was putting up a rough sawn cedar mantle that they're putting above a fireplace that they're having a contractor make. So those were some brackets that I was making for them. And the other board that I was routing is a cap on top of a half wall for someone wanted in a kitchen. And the other board was a hardware store needed a piece of cedar sanded. And just sanded that down smooth and cut it to the desired length that they need.
Over the years, is there a piece that you built here that you're proudest of?
Yes. It was a couple years back. I made 6 white oak benches for the Carnegie Museum.
How about with Wayne? Is there something that he was most proud of, you think?
I think what he would make, he's done so many. I don't think he's proud of everything that he makes. We both are. It's something new and different every day. You're not doing the same thing.
Are you the only two in the mill?
Yes, just us.
Okay. You don't have any apprentices working with you now for the future?
No. I don't think anybody is taking an interest in it. It's not computerized. It's hands-on. It's something that you have to learn over the years. You have to have a feel for it, and you have to love it. It's not for everybody, but
it's your own little world, though.
If you want to call it that, it's something new every day, but we love it.
You like working at Brookside Lumber?
Yes, they're very good people, good employers, real good employees to work with. No problems with any of them. It's a great group of people.
We do have, I think, an exceptional group of people that do the right things for customers, for the business, every day, day in, day out in their decisions. And that's really the thing that separates Brookside from, I think, many, many other businesses.
My love of books goes way, way back, and that's why working here at the Bethel Park Library is such a perfect fit for me. I remember fond memories of my childhood, reading to my younger sister some of our favorite books like The Pokey Little Puppy or Mickey Mouse's Picnic. As part of our bedtime routine, we would be on our bed, before we fell asleep, reading chapter books together and all taking turns sharing chapters from Little House on the Prairie or Anne of Green Gables. As we got older and we were able to read it on our own, we would still read aloud together and we would share chapters. We'd take turns, we'd pass the book around. I stress that to families today, the importance of reading aloud and sharing sharing books as a family, because not only does it create those wonderful memories that you always have, but it's so very fundamental to the reading process and to the learning process. Picture books have always been my favorite. So again, working here at the library is just wonderful, and it's the perfect fit because now I get to share those happy memories, and I get to share the awesome picture books with kids. And kids of all ages. I love doing shows on BPTV such as Book Nook because again, I'm sharing my love of books with kids at home and hopefully encouraging them to come in and then check those books out. And it does work. I've seen it happen. I love when kids run in here, you know, the next morning and say, I just watched you on TV last night. Or when a parent is with that child saying, hey, we're here to check out that book that you read on the last Book Nook show. That's great. That's how we know it's working and our purpose behind the show is being fulfilled. It's also especially rewarding to me to hear of not only people watching it and viewing it with their kids in their homes, but maybe also using it in their classrooms. I have a lot of friends who are teachers, and we've connected again via Facebook, and a lot of these teachers are telling me that they're airing Book Nook in their classrooms and sharing it with their young students. So that's especially rewarding to me. Patrons who I've become very close with, friends with, who have moved away, and they were sad that they were no longer going to be able to tune in to check it out, but lo and behold, now they can because, again, the BPTV staff is so wonderful, and they upload our episodes to YouTube as well, so now she watches them on the web with her children in Kentucky or wherever it might be. So it is very, very rewarding. We're not only sharing these stories, these special books with kids here in Bethel Park, but we're sharing them with kids across the United States. My name is Elaine Volpe, Head of Youth Services at the Bethel Park Public Library and producer of Missy Lane's Book Nook on BPTV.
So the secret to success is making the customer come back, having a little bit of fun, paying attention to their needs and wants, and trying to make them. I still have a lot of fun laughing with customers. Some of the husband-wife teams are really funny, and typically it comes down to who's making the decision. And the younger couples are a little more fun than the older couples because the older couples know who's making the decision. The younger ones sometimes,
he hasn't
the
learned
younger
that
ones
yet.
sometimes do not. So they have to be reminded. So I'll stand by the wife and say, "Well, now it's, you know, this is really lopsided, but I'm standing with the person that's, you know, making the decision." The gals are really very important to us to service correctly. It's not like we want to ignore the guys, but the women are driving a lot of the sales, and we realize that.
I really enjoy waiting on the contractors and customers. People are fun to deal with. They really are.
And always very much felt like part of the family here from the very beginning. One of the memories that I cherish is summers we would do what I would call family picnic at one of the owners' homes for all the employees and their family members. I had three sons, have three sons, and I remember them coming to those and doing things like pony rides and other activities and things, and just getting to interact with and know better everyone else that you work with and their children and their spouses. And that was a great memory. And as time went on, I think my boys started to feel the same way. All three of them have worked here through high school and through college, which again I think is just another indication of the commitment to family that you have from the owners of the company. And it always feels very good. They always speak very highly of the company, of the people that they worked for, and that's a very warm, friendly memory for me.
So do you guys remember any of the first customers that your grandfather and your dad and uncle had? Were there any of the big names in our community or so forth that were original customers or builders or anything? Was the Ivanovich Frank Ivanovich,
Mm-hmm.
I think, was one of the
Vanishworks.
customers, or
Cortez's.
the Cortez.
They're
Okay.
third generation. Thomas's are third generation.
Okay.
McCloskey,
Oh,
McCloskey.
McCloskey's, yeah.
Yeah.
Tischler, like you said.
Tischler's.
Mhm.
So they're all big names in our community that have been longtime customers of, and still probably second, third, some of them maybe even fourth generation customers of Brookside Lumber, which I think speaks highly of the business and the work ethics and so forth that the family puts forth. What else can you tell us that would really, set apart your company from one of the big box stores?
Well, I mean, right off the bat, you've got a company that for 80 plus years has its roots in this community, as opposed to someone that's from out of town or out of the country even potentially. I think our biggest difference, and I think as we've talked, you see, is the difference in the people. One of the things that I think we try to make it a better experience for our customers with is, in most cases, when you talk to somebody about a project, they can talk to you about all parts of it. It's not a matter of, well, I need to talk to somebody about flooring, talk to this person. I need to talk to somebody about lighting, talk to this person. I need to talk to somebody about my deck, talk to this person. We have people that have broad bases of expertise and many years of experience. I also think it's a more comfortable shopping environment. You're not walking around a warehouse, pushing a cart up and down aisles, trying to handle materials. One of the things we've done for years is we structured so that we can either deliver your materials for you, or if you have to pick it up, your vehicle, whether it's your pickup truck, your SUV, or your car, is your shopping cart. Much easier, much more convenient, we think. So we just think it's a better model all the way around for our customers.
Okay. So why we love Brookside? You've been here 80 plus years and look forward to the next 80 years.
As do we.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Andy.
Well, I appreciate the time that the three of you spent. It was quite educational. I love learning about the history of all the businesses and aspects of Bethel Park, and Brookside Lumber sure is a, what is the year now? How many years?
The 88 years now.
88 years. So it's been, nice growing up in Bethel Park and having Brookside Lumber part of my life here, and look forward to it in the future. But 88 years in Bethel, there are no other businesses that can say that, and we are fortunate to have you as part of our community. So thank you for everything you do for the community. Thank you for being part of our community, and looking forward to the next 20 years with Brookside Lumber.
Thanks, Andy.
We thank the community for their support.